responsible for protecting sensitive data in Snowflake, you will probably know about Snowflake's native column-level masking features. Masking policies allow you to control how a user can see sensitive data. For example, you can create a masking policy that, based on user's Snowflake role, will only show the last 4 digits of an SSN, while showing the entire SSN for other roles. In Snowflake, you create and assign masking policies to a column by executing SQL statements like this one. Thus, in order to take advantage of these features, you will have to embed your data access policy logic inside of SQL code stored within Snowflake. This means you will have to develop the SQL code, have code reviews, test it, move the code into production within your Snowflake environment. In essence, you have to wrap each data access policy with a software development lifecycle. And then, when and if the data changes, or the policy changes, you'll have to repeat the cycle. The process can be time-consuming and error-prone. It also requires resources that you probably want to keep on high-value tasks instead of an administrative task like granting and revoking data access. With ALTR, there's a better way. ALTR creates and manages Snowflake masking policies for you automatically without requiring you to write a single line of SQL. We provide a point-and-click user experience that allows you to simply and quickly mask sensitive data in 2 steps. Let's take a look at it in action. In the first step, there's a one-time operation where you tell ALTR which columns in your Snowflake database are sensitive and therefore will require some kind of access control. Here you can see we've chosen several columns to add from the customer's database and one column from a view called Public Transactions 2021. When you connect a column like this in ALTR, we create and attach a masking policy to that column. The masking policy will get invoked and checked with ALTR's policy engine anytime that column is queried. The ALTR policy engine tells the masking policy at query time whether and how to mask the value before returning it to the user. The way that you create a policy in ALTR is through a lock. A lock is how you set policy. It lets you map sensitive data to a Snowflake role and a masking policy. This action specifies that the named role is allowed to see that data, but sees the data masked based on a chosen masking policy. Here we have a lock set up for finance and finance manager roles that allows them, that we want to set to allow them to see the customer ID from the transactions view. And what we're going to do is mask the email address. The transaction customer ID is an email address, so we're going to say choose the email mask. And in ALTR, an email mask means to mask everything before the @ sign. In other words, just only show the domain portion of the email. So we're going to save this, update the lock, and then we'll see it in action. In Snowflake, we'll run a query for a finance manager. We'll select everything from the Transactions 2021 view. And what we should see here is the email address, the customer's ID, which is an email address, is masked using the email mask type. And here we see everything before the @ sign is masked and only the domain portion of the email address shows. Now in ALTR, these changes are instant. So if you go back to the Snowflake method, if we wanted to change that mask type instead of using asterisk at the beginning, but rather mask the entire email address, we'd have to go write some code or update the code that exists and then run it through the cycle. With ALTR, I can just go back to my lock. I can look at the Transaction 2021 column from the view and change it to a full mask or whatever other type of mask I'd like to see. I simply update the lock. I go back and run my query. And now we'll see the full mask in the email column. And that's it. It's that simple to manage masking policies in ALTR over tables, columns in tables and columns in views.